Good morning, beautiful souls. How are you doing today? It's been a little while. So I'm hoping that a few of us can catch up today on this beautiful Saturday. Before I head out with my pup and go spend some time in nature and do a little grounding. Do a little grounding, do a little releasing, maybe do a little bit of singing, and see what is going on in terms of the universe bringing through messages today. So there's a lot of information coming through tarot readings, oracle readings. It seems to be a really popular form for people to be conveying their voice, conveying their truth, and bringing forward their gifts. So that's really amazing and wonderful to see. And we also have to be aware of filtering our own, or creating our own filter for how much information comes through and what we are paying attention to and where we are allocating our energy. So just be aware and just be present for that type of thing, because that I think will be a focus for 2022 moving forward, that we're really going to be paying attention to where we are focusing our energies. So today I'm doing a general read. I have two of my oracle decks that I'm going to be using, Shadow Fantasy Oracle and Galactic Goth. And then I'm going to be using the Priestess of Light Oracle here. So that's the cover of that little sucker. And a little bit of a romance read to the side, because I feel like I've been talking to a few clients and friends, and we're laughing about the romantic energies going around, especially with those who are really working on their purpose, have been mastering accountability, boundaries, breaking ancestral patterns, and that kind of thing. And it seems like there have been a lot of delays in romance for those who are really focused on and being the best version of themselves, but not only that, being very present for an equal relationship. So it's interesting, but I'm pulling cards on that to see what the romance energies have in terms of how they connect with our general energies. Hey Sally, how you doing? Woo! I know my dog's not happy. I was like, I'm just gonna go do a reading, but he's staring and waiting patiently. So yeah, let's get started. I feel like I'm going to go through the general line of energies first, because I'm just as curious as you guys. And if you wonder why I don't shuffle on the live, I've actually found that when I'm watching videos, I find the shuffling noise a little bit disruptive. And depending on your energy, you may or may not appreciate the shuffling that's happening, but I do shuffle right before I go live. So right before. And that is tapping into the energies of those who are going to find themselves watching this video. So I'm very specific. So you should have a message here if you're catching the playback or the live for you out of the general. But remember, it is a general energy. So let's see what we've got going for our past. We have revelations. Now, this one I'm sure we can all relate to, because there have been personal revelations, there have been spiritual revelations, perhaps religious revelations, definitely political revelations. And we're looking at life a little bit differently in terms of a lot of different layering and a lot of different points of view and perspectives, seeing that polarity and how that really looks in terms of humanity and unity. So what does it really mean to have unity energy and actually bring that forward in our lives? We do have an infinite amount of energy in one kind of side of things, and then we have a finite energy that keeps our body going, that keeps our mind going. We have to eat, we have to have sun, we have to have water. So very interesting to be watching your energy levels, where you're focusing your energy, and paying attention to the revelations, not only personally for you in terms of who you are, where you see yourself going, where you've been, who you've been connected to, who you kind of foresee yourself connecting with in the future, and totally new paths to purpose really coming out of the groundwork here that you've laid in the past couple years and your whole life in terms of your spiritual journey. So we have Revelations, and I love it when that card comes up because, of course, it is the cover card. All right, so to clarify Revelations, what type of revelations have these been other than what I've been kind of talking about? Interesting. We've got Jaguar medicine here, River of Blessings, releasing constraints. So this is all about recognizing our own truth, recognizing the truths of others, and how other people's perceptions of themselves really affect our relationships with them. And of course, that happens for us too. How we perceive ourselves directly relates to our interpersonal relationships with our friends, with our family, with our lovers. So that has been a really big focus point in the last couple of years, is really understanding in terms of forgiveness, surrender, insecurity, confidence, success and failure, what it all means in terms of this journey called life that we're on, and especially a journey of the spiritual path or spiritual nature. So I'm going to take a look at this card because I haven't used this deck, I don't think, on a live yet. So let's see what extra energies we have coming through. The Priestess of Purification holds out a bowl of blessed water overflowing in your direction. The all-seeing Jaguar brings his power of creation into your life, heralding a significant positive change in your circumstances. You may have been experiencing a time of challenges such as financial constraints, perhaps living paycheck to paycheck, or going deeper into debt. Your restrictions, however, may be of a more emotional nature. Perhaps you've been lonely, missing romance, familial or friendly love. Even a lack of joy from the ongoing tediousness of life could be a great limitation for you. I'm resonating with this. I don't know if you guys are, but perhaps these are part of the revelations, understanding what's outside of our control and how powerful it is to work with what is inside of our control, even though that's a little bit, I don't know, depending on the spiritual lens you're looking through, it is very challenging. It is very tricky, so I don't want to downplay anything. Through even severe limitations of the past, your difficulties may have been very hard to bear, but this has been a time of profound purification for you. We've talked about that in the past in my videos. The Priestess is blessing your rebirth after suffering, giving you the Jaguar's ability to view your experience with sharp-eyed clarity, a release of attachment that brings the promise of achievement. Whatever limitation you have endured, a beneficial solution is coming your way. So rest assured that the old issues will be resolved. As you go throughout your day, so today specifically, if you have been feeling very pressured, very limited, and wondering, when is the dam going to break? When am I really going to be moving forward, or feeling that flow, feeling those blessings, feeling that romance, or just in general, that movement forward? Hey, Teresa, you're all. I was wondering. I was like, must do this. Teresa, I wonder if she will catch this. So if you're feeling like that too, today in particular, try your best to feel that energy of okay. You know, the universe is acknowledging that I have been suffering. The universe is acknowledging that there are issues. You know, you're not just crazy. And you might have asked Spirit, you might have asked your team, hey, like, are you guys paying attention here? This doesn't feel great. I've been in this energy for a long time. I'm working actively to improve, whether it's health, diet, seeking new work, aligning myself with people who are supportive and joyful, you know, in as much as they can be, because they might be experiencing similar energies. But if you're feeling that today in particular, try to at least find one breath of relief where you can go, okay, Spirit has kind of indicated here through this reading that they see it, and the time is coming nearer for me to actually manifest in the material and feel these changes. So rest assured that the old issues will be resolved as you go throughout your day. Bless yourself with a clear intention. See any restrictions as merely a part of your passage from purification to personal progress. Just as a jaguar has unique visual acuity, your own inner visions are coming into sharp focus, ready to become an even greater reality. In fact, this river of blessings will carry you far beyond anything you have yet imagined. So there is an affirmation. I release attachment and restriction. I am blessed and purified, ready to receive the ever-expanding value flowing into my life. So that's a great message, for all of us who have been struggling. Even if you're making headway in some way, you just feel like, okay, this isn't enough. Like, I deserve better. I deserve more. I've been working really hard, so something has to give. And it's darn well going to give in my favor, right? So let's see what else we have. Embrace the shadow self. So that's in connection with revelations, this river of blessings, releasing constraints. And we've had to embrace our shadow selves in order to find forgiveness, find surrender, and go with the flow in terms of what we can't control, and really understand that we don't have our whole life figured out. We don't have it mapped. What we thought we might have had mapped, we don't have mapped anymore. The map is changing and evolving as we have been evolving, as we have been recognizing certain truths, and as we have embraced our shadow selves and really purified ourselves, which is what that River of Blessings card was talking about, right? If you guys are jumping on the live, I have set the comments for subscription only. So if you do want to make a comment, or at the end, if I do pull cards for people, then in order to get on that, you have to subscribe to the channel. All right, so let's go to present energies. So that was kind of what the past energies were about, letting things go, purifying, looking at certain truths. And now we have initiation. So we see this kind of shrouded, cloaked person heading to a doorway here. So, there's a little bit of mystery still. There's a little bit of uncertainty. This is kind of dark gray, gloomy, confusing, murky. That mystery still hasn't revealed itself, even though it may have said it was going to reveal itself. And so we are headed towards the light. We have some lights here. We have a little bit of, an idea of where we're headed, but we can't see the whole picture. And we are ready to rock and roll. We're ready because, I don't know if you're like me, but it's like, okay, things have been so slow paced, slow, steady, that I'm like ready if someone was like, hey, want to come to Europe? And here's a flat, and you're going to have to, do a tour. And then we're going to go travel. I'd be like, yeah, okay. Right? Just because it's been so seemingly stagnant, just because of how slow the energies are actually moving. So let's see what we have. Ooh, hello. So we definitely have Jaguar medicine happening here. And it is full moon in Virgo, I believe, unless it changed from last night. And then the sun, of course, I think is moving into Pisces as we move from, what do we just move from? Anyways, I can't think of it right off the hop right now. But hostilities, conflict, and unrest. So we see that happening in the kind of Canadian political landscape right now. But we have full moon here. We have a Jaguar with teeth bared. A little bit different from our Jaguar medicine. And I love the differences between like the spotted Jaguar and the Black Panther kind of Jaguar medicine. I really find it quite beautiful. So we have both of them here. And with that initiation card, I'd like to actually pull the next clarifier before I read that, because I don't often read the booklet. But if you know me, if you've been watching for a while, I usually only read the booklet if it's a newer deck for me, because then I know that there's going to be little hints in the booklet that I'm not going to just know from using the deck often. So let's see what we have. We have innocence. Very interesting. So we also have this shrouded energy with the initiation, but we have this energy of hostilities. So let's find out between the two, initiation and innocence. And just before we go into the book, I mean, I mentioned briefly the polarities, and I don't want to go into politics at this point, but what's interesting is connecting with people who have different views than yourself. And this is something that has happened with religious doctrine, with spiritual doctrine, or anything that really says, in order for you to be this, you have to believe all of these things, or you can't have this shadow side, you can't have this dark side, or you have to be good, you have to do this. Those are similarities in a generalized energy where you have to follow a certain set in order to be recognized as something. And when we get further back and we peel the layers back of what spirituality in terms of a soul, what's your soul versus your ego, and humanity in conflict and competition versus humanity in unity and teamwork. It's very interesting because we haven't really seen a whole system working one way or the other unless we look to the past, we look to history. And history is constantly in that same divide. So it's just that same balance of differing opinions, differing energies, differing agendas, differing politics. So we do have this hostile energy in the field around us. So how is that going to affect us in our initiation as we've gone through big transformations and as we have this energy of innocence within us where we want to do the right thing. We want to speak up when we feel it is necessary to stand up for people or situations or beliefs. And the thing with this, though, is that's very personal to us. It's very personal to us and our experiences as an individual, what we feel connected to, what we feel passion for, right? It will be part of your makeup, part of your soul's journey, and part of your experiences in this particular lifetime. So let's see what we have here. I'm just going to have a sip. A sippy sip. The priestess in this card kneels next to a panther with her arms raised to the moon, drawing on the power of the light she holds in her hands. The panther is growling, baring its teeth in fierce protection, warning any intruders to beware. There may be a person or situation in your life that is abrasive or upsetting in some way, or perhaps something coming in the near future might make you feel defensive. Of course, we're all like, no, but this is a heads up, so we'll take it. Either way, this card is telling you to gather your resources and turn to the guidance of your own divine light and courage. I had this happen last week. There was something I really didn't want to do. My spirit was like, no. And I really had to check in with myself and go, okay, like, am I able to face a fear here? What are my options? Can I see what happens here a little bit further? Or do I really want to pull the plug and just walk away? If I walk away, is that a pattern from my past? Am I avoiding something? Am I just feel tired, so I just don't want to deal with it? So if you guys are experiencing similar energies, let me know in the comments there. It says, become more conscious of the people or situations zapping your energy or your sense of power. Now, this is a tricky one because as you further in your initiations, I was talking to my sister briefly about this before, I feel like sometimes the tests feel really unfair. If you have, say, my example, they're in my full power, I would walk away. There's no reason for me to stick around. I feel a spiritual gap. It's very distinct. It's what I walked away from before, but then my spirit kicks in and I question. I go, okay, well, I walked away from a poor job situation before, and nothing came in the wake of me creating space, which is a spiritual concept, right? Create space and something new will come through. Nothing did. So I had this time of rest, time of rejuvenation, even though it was very stressful for me because I was thinking, okay, what do I do now, right? I pulled the plug on the past. What's going to happen in the future? And if I can't see it, how do I get there? And usually we can see like little bits and pieces. So this initiation for me in particular has been quite a struggle, like a very, very new challenge for me. So in one way, I know that stepping away from that would be me in my full power. However, I've done that before and nothing really like spiritually amazing happened after that. So there is that level of fear, practicality, and being realistic about what the consequences are of that decision, in unison with my spiritual beliefs. So these can get very tricky when you have a belief system that is contradicted, or your experiences don't necessarily fall into them the way that you thought you might, right? So very interesting. Let's finish this card here. Become more conscious of the people or situations that may be zapping your power. There may be a family member, a coworker, or a draining obligation that has taken a toll on you. Even if it has gone on for quite a while, it's finally time to choose to protect yourself and your own energy. This choice may cause others to be upset or even hostile. You may be tempted to diffuse the conflict by giving in, but that old, right as I was talking about, that old unhealthy pattern must be resisted. You don't have to give in to the habits of fear anymore. So don't shy away from conflict or unrest. You deserve to act on your own behalf. Be brave in the face of confrontation and know that you are capable of seeing it through to the other side. You have the fierce determination and strength of the panther within you, and the light of the divine assistance is always on hand. Affirmation: I'm strong and resourceful in any situation. I believe in myself and in my ability to take charge. So this one is so challenging when you're talking about money, when you're talking about livelihood, paying the rent, paying the bills, being fed, paying for school, whatever it is for you, where it's like there's a real, like I was saying, consequence to your choice. So even within this is interesting, because I do believe that through the boundaries we've learned and the initiations we've gone through these revelations and letting go, we don't want to let go and then be presented with the same thing and go, but I'm so tired. Like, for me, it's like, I just got this new job. And then it's not anywhere near in alignment. So then I question, I go, okay, well, if it's not alignment and everything happens for a reason, why am I aligned with it? Out of alignment. So I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole, but just as a surface level topic of curiosity and conversation, that's where things can get a little bit blurry. And that's where we have to be willing to look at where we're acting out of fear, where these new transformative energies within us still needs to be flexed, to be built up. So we can say, okay, I might not flee and run, but I can say, this isn't working for me, this is why, and then make your move. So some tough initiations for you guys, possibly some big decisions that have real life consequences. And the thing with spirit and the universe is we don't know what's going to come through. Like for me, I had that period of kind of nothing for quite a while where spirit was reassuring me, yeah, you need to rest. You need to, reconnect, rejuvenate. And I was okay with that for a certain point of time. But then I got really impatient, right? Which is totally natural. So let's see what we have coming up for the future. But just be mindful that there might be people in your sphere who are challenging you to step out of that comfort zone, which is still a bit of a reflex for you. Even if you've mentally gone, I'm moving forward from this, I'm not doing that anymore. These are your inaction moments where you get to pivot and use what you've learned. So we're all like, great. Oh, wow. Okay, so we do have a situation here. We've got hot-headed in the future position. So we have this initiation, hostilities, conflict, unrest, innocence, meaning there's a certain we have been purified. So whoever is watching this, you are the person that is in effect innocent in this situation. To keep that energy pure, you need to make sure you're not connecting with shitty energies or shady energies. So the question being, how do we handle that in this new evolved energy? Let's find out. So we've got hot-headed. We know the results of being hot-headed aren't great. We know that's usually a reactive energy that can cause big explosions, that can really hurt other people, that can cause karma. Sometimes it's necessary, but oftentimes it's not. Oftentimes it is just a lack of ability to communicate, lack of ability to stand up for yourself, or once again, coming back into it, that fear that if we say no, if we walk away, it's not going to be okay. And depending on how independent you are, you might be ultra independent, or you might have already sort of used up some. I think of it, if I ask my dad for help, or if I ask a friend for help in the past, when you're going through difficult times, then there's like a time where you're doing good, and then you don't want to go back and ask for help if this doesn't work out, because really it's your choice. But when we're trailblazing, that's the thing. You're doing things differently than most people will do. So you're going to hit hurdles and challenges and blocks that other people will possibly never bump up against. So whilst they might have to ask for help in other situations and relate in that aspect, they might not ever have to ask for assistance in the same way, or deconstruct an ancestral pattern in the same way. So just keep that in mind too. Try to be kind to yourself, because I know I'm very hard on myself, and I imagine a lot of the viewers who catch this video are too. So try to be kind to yourself and gentle to yourself. You're doing things in a new way, so there's going to be some mistakes. There's going to be some hiccups, right? But you are a different person. You are looking at things differently. So there's also going to be new breakthroughs. So let's see what we have. We have, yes, achievement. We have achievement, effort plus intention. Okay, so remember, Spirit was just saying to focus. So we have conflict. What are we going to focus on? Our courage, our strength. We're not going to focus on the other person's insecurity, the other person's bullying, or the other person's ignorance. We're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on our strength, our courage, what we've learned, and what it means for us to continue to remove those, what we can call them toxic, we can call them restraining, whatever energies you want to use. We can still walk away. Just keep walking away, keep pivoting away from those energies. So we have the white buffalo medicine, and I love white buffalo medicine. It has this energy of peace, has an energy of equality. Hey, Jocelyn, how you doing? And presence, like a very surreal, primal, cultural presence that we can relate to across different cultures. So let's see what 49 has, and let's pull that clarifier again, because I liked pulling that clarifier before. Hopefully you guys did too. We have attachment. This is interesting. And it's kind of funny because I did create this deck, this one, and it has a similar like color scheme here. Like she's kind of holding, what is she holding? She's holding something. I can't tell what she's holding in that picture actually. And then of course on this one, the attachment, she's holding a skull. So if we think about the skull, we have death, we have rebirth. We already talked about the rebirthing energies, but this is in a line, remember, with hot-headed. So how is hot-headed connect to achievement and attachment? Let's see what this booklet has to say, and let's connect the two. So achievement, effort plus intention. The priestess of the white buffalo stands shoulder to shoulder with the mighty beast, bringing a message about the direction of your life. She reveals that you will achieve success by aligning your conscious intentions with the drive and energy that you focus on your goals. So we're relating ego and spirit. And then more than that, but I just need to point out we're relating ego and spirit. Ego does have a lot of benefits for us. That's why we have it. Some people have clear, specific intentions, yet their efforts fall short due to confusion, misdirection, or even just laziness. And right now, you guys, this laziness can also be part of being a human in a pandemic situation and having not experienced that and seeing all the little ways in which society doesn't work for us. that can be very exhausting. So remember when I said be gentle, because there can be a lot of mental health issues happening right now, even if you are spiritually advancing, even if you are learning and growing. So just be gentle on yourself. Others put a lot of effort into their lives, but their intentions are unclear or even full of doubt. The message here is to bring the two together in a lucid and logical way. Understand your true intentions and take responsibility for the effort you put into them every day. So today, focus on your intention. Buffalo are methodical in their movement, and they have humps on their shoulders, symbolic of the ability to carry heavy loads. And I know we all want to not have the heavy loads anymore, right? Or maybe that's just me. I shouldn't speak for you guys. But I know for me, I'm like, you know what? I'm cool. If I just went off to Hawaii and was sitting there drinking Blue Hawaiians, I would be darn good with that, and having absolutely no pressures, no money worries, no wondering what's going to happen, no wondering about dating, and all these things, right? This represents the systematic energy needed when attempting to bring your intentions to fruition. So right now, most of you guys who are watching this are in this energy of manifesting what you desire, manifesting what's the highest for your path. So really having the intuition, your experiences from the past, your wisdom, bringing it all up front and going, okay, how do I bring this forward as intention so that I can manifest something in the material? So it's very, very interactive right now. It's this very busy bee worker, like we're all bees and we're all working on our passion and our purpose in a different way than we've ever dealt with it before. Since the white buffalo is so sacred and rare, this card brings a special message. It's time to raise your intentions and take your effort to a higher level. Interesting. Bring prayer to your path and you will ignite the unlimited abundance that this beautiful creature signifies. I create clear intentions and put patient effort into my goals. I bring sacred prayers to my personal pursuits every day. I find this very interesting because it doesn't say raise your standards. It says raise your intentions. And we were talking about focus, revelations, letting go of the unpure, hot-headed, right? Maybe hot-headed in this case is also just an impatient energy. Right. And that also, just answering Jocelyn there, it does have a lot to do with balancing the masculine and feminine energies, which is kind of like what was part of our energies coming up to the pandemic. So leading into the pandemic, that was a huge focus, was balancing the feminine and the masculine energies within us. And then pandemic has been a lot of rearranging, a lot of reorganizing, a lot of rest, rejuvenation, possibly even soul change, like soul plans changing where you accomplished or completed what you were meant to do, contracts and such. And then new contracts are being developed in real time. And you're figuring out now that you're kind of moving forward, but you don't have all the pieces to the puzzle. So you're really just working as hard as you possibly can. So this hot-headed, I'm feeling like, is a little bit more of impatience. So if you're feeling impatient, Spirit is saying, okay, if you're feeling impatient, here's what you have to do. You have to take a step back, look at what your energy is focusing on. Now, raise your intentions. Okay, so I'm intending to get this position, or I'm intending to do the astrology tarot. But I want there to be more freedom in that, because I don't want to feed into an incessant energy of having to check, it sounds weird, but in my videos, and this is part of why I do them interspersed, is because I don't think it's healthy to go and look every day. If I come on here every single day, or twice a day, or 3 times a day, I personally feel that's an overload, and it's not working with the energies in a way in which it's easy and facilitative for you to also be in touch with your own intuition, be in touch with what the universe and spirit is telling you specifically, and then connecting it into this collective conversation. And it's a little bit, because my channel is still small, we're a little bit more intimate than perhaps another, like a bigger channel. So it is collective, but it's also connected to you guys in a deeper personal level. So what I'm saying with that is that's a lot to go into this focused intention. So how can we simplify our focused intention? I can focus on, okay, I want to be healthy because I want to be vibrant. I want my energy to be up so that I can connect on a vibrant, healthy, supportive level for people. If I'm not feeling great, I am not going to be as supportive, but I want that for me first. I want to be in a good place so that then I can be connecting, right? Like we already learned a lot about that in the past. It's putting ourselves first in a non-selfish way. So very, very interesting connections here. And perhaps when we have the attachment to the achievement, maybe we need to let go of some of the attachment we have to achievement in general in our lives. You have already achieved a lot. I have already achieved a lot, but I want more, right? In that sense of, I don't feel like I've done all that I can do, right? I don't feel like if I died tomorrow in spirit, I wouldn't be like, yes, Mollie accomplished everything she set out to do. And I know that's not part of this journey. That's an illusion, right? But I think we all buy into that illusion to a certain extent, that we want to, say, experience an equal love, or we want to, have our business be supporting financially so that you don't have to have a part-time job or a full-time job if you don't want it, right? Many of us do want it. That's part of our purpose, is to work that part-time or that full-time job. And within that, we're affecting change. So a lot of personal questions here for you and how this relates to you, but very interesting read. I was not expecting this reading to go this way at all. So I'm just kind of taking a look at some of the comments here too. Yes. Right. And that's, and Jocelyn, if you're reading Jocelyn's comment there, that's the truth of getting our new sea legs, so to speak. Like we were a mermaid before and now we're on the land and we're in a different energy. We ourselves have changed a lot. So every single decision we make isn't going to be reflective of everything we've learned. It's going to be a slow, steady progress for us to actually, step into the shoes that we kind of, purchased through our hard work spiritually. I hope that metaphor wasn't horrible. But we've done so much hard work. Let's try not to beat ourselves up if it takes a little while to go crawl, walk, run, right? So let's be gentle and understand that each of us here connecting with each other, we're queens, we're kings. Okay, we've done the work. We do have dreams. We do have passion for what we can provide, for what service we can bring to the world. But we also want ourselves to be the best version that we can be, to experience joy, to experience contentment, to be someone who is supportive, to be someone who is generous and kind and compassionate. These things, whatever it is for you that you want to embody, right? So a lot of energy packed into this. You guys, I know for me, when I take George for a walk here, I'm going to be unraveling this too, because this is like a poof. Spirit's like, poof, here you go. And then you gotta unravel it with whatever it is for you. Dance, walk, write, journal, read, and then little bits are gonna kind of come out for you and go, oh, okay, that's how this applies to me. All right, so let's move from the general, unless you guys have any questions about that general, into the romance, because I don't want to spend too much time, even though it's my first time back for a while and I love you guys. George is like, let's go. So I want to be mindful of him too. But we have beautiful George Porge energy here. So dog, loyalty, friendship, connection. All right. So if you guys have someone you haven't talked to in a while, or someone that you feel like is connecting to you in your energetic realm, this is from my Soul Whispers deck. This can also be general. It could be you talking to yourself, but it's written as a message. So let's see. Yes, flowing in the living room. Let's see what message is coming through, alongside those general messages. This one comes out all the time. It's interesting. I swear there's more cards than just this. It's not this on every card. I'm sorry for lying to you out of my own insecurity and fear around love. So there are still little bits, I think, of the past here where we've gone through these big transitions and journeys. We've purified and we've let people go. We've let friends go. We might have distanced ourselves from family members. We might have disconnected from exes, or cut people off, blocked people, and just really figured out what works best for us. But once again, this is saying, I'm sorry for lying to you out of my own insecurity and fear around love. So there is an apology, even if it hasn't come through in real life. There is an apology there from somebody, or just in general from Spirit, is saying, the reason why that person hurt you was because of their own insecurities and fears around love and connection. So that's just an aside here. For any new energies here, we have your softness and vulnerability drives me wild in the most primal of ways. I want you, only you. So this card is one of my sexy Siren Secrets cards. So this is like my fun deck that I did that actually can't be released because it's too racy apparently. But I have a deck because I ordered it myself. Anyways, so I love this part though. Your softness and vulnerability. Because we've gone through these changes, speaking for myself, I've kind of worried. I'm like, am I going to be too like Queen of Swords going into dating? Or if I meet someone, am I going to be too like untrusting because I've had raw experiences with that? And then going, okay, no, but I've learned how to be vulnerable and soft. But then that was exploited and taken advantage of in the past. So it's going to be an interesting energy to go in with love instead of that fear for myself and meet someone there. So what this is saying is this person desires that vulnerability and softness. And what you would then look for is that vulnerability and softness within them so that there's that equal energy. But I really love that, because part of what is the challenge when you grow with this wisdom and this mastery, self-mastery and learning, is you can become a little bit hardened in some ways. I'm not talking about that because that would be fantastic right now. But you can become a little bit like rigid and rough around the edges. So that softness and that vulnerability that you have worked so hard for, don't let it just slip to the wayside because someone else was too insecure to treat you right. Okay? So there is that energy coming through. But I also like how it's got the primal energy, because I am so down for that right now. I am so intrigued for my next like sexual partner, pleasure, energy. Like there's just so much. George is like, hey, I don't want to hear about this. Anyways, so I'm intrigued. Like I didn't want to force anything, rush anything, so I didn't. I've just been really playing it cool and chill and focusing on myself, which I think a lot of you guys have too. Exactly. Focusing on ourselves, not worrying too much about other people or what we can't control, putting in the action and the steps we can, saying yes to going out with friends and meeting new people. Yeah. We can definitely do a Zoom call. So very, very interesting energies, but we can all feel it. It's like palpable, right? Love, but not just any love. We're not settling. So let's get into it. And I swear to you, when I can, I'm going to replace this deck but I don't have a sufficient deck at this moment in time to replace this Doreen Virtue deck. So if you guys want to donate, then just donate to the PayPal link that is in this video description, because I really do want to replace this love deck. Even though I've got mine here to clarify it, I want to replace the Doreen Virtue deck. But for now, we're going to go with it and see what it's got. Flirt. Extend your lighthearted energy to others. So this is awesome. That includes vulnerability and softness. When you're flirting, you know, that's your confidence, that's your strength, that's your courage. You're flirting, you're being lighthearted, you're being playful, and you're not worried. Like, you're not wondering, oh, is this the person that I'm going to get married to? Or is this? No, you're in the moment, you're enjoying yourself, you're flirting, you're having fun, you're going with your body, your responses, your pheromones, right? Like, it's very fun. So flirt. What do we have in connection with flirt? Ooh. If I wasn't live, I might edit this out. Okay, so we have past love. There is an opportunity for reconciliation and transformation in a relationship gone awry. Someone may reach out to provide closure in the form of truth. It may be a relief, or it may be difficult to hear. It is important to listen to your intuition and take your time in responding to the situation from a heart-based and grounded space. It is your choice to make. Okay, so I love this card too, because it does say that it may just be about closure. So if you hear from someone from the past, it could be a past lover, like it could be an ex very recent. It could be someone from the past that isn't the person that just pops into the forefront of your mind. It could be that person. But let's remember, spirit is always working for the highest and best of all of us, theoretically, right? So then if someone comes forward with an authentic apology, or they want to convey a truth, even that this card says it might be hard to hear, but the flirt pairing indicates it's probably going to be more of a low-key, I'm sorry. Like, hey, I was a fucking dickhead. I had no idea what I was doing, and I'm really sorry you were the one. You were the patsy, basically, that had to connect with me at that very point in my life. But you taught me, or you were a catalyst for me to change things up, and this is where I'm at now, and I'm sorry, and or they might try to flirt with you. And it's your choice what your response is going to be to that. You might say, hey, like, thanks for the apology. I was wondering when you were going to get around to that. Or you might just be like, hey, like, I already did the work. I don't need your apology. That's more for you, but I'm glad you're at this spot, right? I'm moving on. Or, hey, yeah, I'd like to go for a coffee, right? Whatever it is for you. But this does indicate that, hey, maybe you just had someone reach out from the past, or maybe there is communication right in the next little while here, because this is in our past position. So it could be like this week, or it has already happened, and this is something that spirit is referencing in that closure energy. So what we have next is wedding. Hello. Send me an invite, because I'd love to go to a wedding right now. I want to dance. I mean, if it's an open bar, great. If it's not, I will pay. But I mean, I'll pay for my own drinks. Sorry. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but this situation involves marriage. Hello. We went from flirting with a past love into marriage. Okay, let's see what the connecting card is. Yeah, Teresa, we dancing. Oh, hello. Okay, this is awesome. So, wedding with third eye power. Someone is experiencing third eye activation at this time. So, third eye, we're talking about telepathy. You might be connecting with someone in your dreams, or you might be getting messages from an important soulmate, past, present, future, whatever. The process of spiritual awakening is occurring through changes and upgrades in their energy field. So, this card is in particular talking about the person who is coming in for a romantic or soul connection, soul bond with you. There may be increased signs and synchronicity to reassure you that your communication to the universe is becoming clearer. You are tuning into a different frequency and expanding your perception of the world. That's awesome. We want to continue to expand our perceptions, right? So in the future here, we have reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. So, okay. Now, I do have to do a little mini caveat. For me, I think this is physical people that we've met, but I do think that it's important that your experience might be different. This could be someone you've met in a past life if that's something you believe in, and if that resonates for you. So we have reconciliation, surface level. Interesting. There is a frequency mismatch. One party has deeper spiritual connections and has sacrificed their ego for higher learning, and the other has not. Each path is sacred. However, you must never settle for less than you are worthy of. One party is immature and requires lessons, learning, and growth, whilst the other has learned their lessons and is ready. Someone is out of their depths, and this partnership is out of balance. So if someone does come back into your life, you do have to really question, okay, is this person worthy of me? Is this person on, the same level? And I know relationships, you don't have to be on the same level in every regard. That'd be super boring. But you know what I mean in terms of your authenticity, in terms of your integrity, your intellect, what you need to be satisfied in a deep spiritual commitment. You really have to ask yourself, does this person have the emotional maturity? Does this person have the general maturity? And, am I going to say yes or no? Because that is an intention, right? But it's interesting that we have that wedding energy. So I might pull one clarifying card with that reconciliation and surface level just to see, because it could be that person was not good in the past, and now they have evolved through that third eye energy. Gifts emerging. Okay, so this is totally possible. You're going to have to use all your knowledge, but this potential past person has either evolved in this lifetime or has evolved from a past life that you guys have connected in, and it hopefully that maturity level is going to be way different than it was when you were connected in the past, however that may be. Maybe you guys were married in a past life, but I want to stay with the present energies here too, but just be aware. There might be some fluid energies here. People come in from the past. It doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to be a whole life changer, because you have probably already done a lot of work on that energy and getting closure for yourself. So it's really up to you. You guys have a lot of power in your decision-making at this time. And for our final card, and it's been lovely to see you guys. I'm so glad you popped on today. Have an amazing Saturday, an amazing weekend. Remember to focus on your intentions today. And, shake your feathers like a damn peacock. So we have vibrancy. You were born to shine and inspire. Practice humility to avoid jealousy. Be grateful for life and more good things will come. Be true to yourself and recognize your brilliance. So this whole reading, if you guys stayed for the whole reading, has really been about this. Standing your ground, understanding how much you've learned, continuing to make those positive choices to stay in alignment, knowing that you're going to make mistakes and there are going to be a few hiccups along the way when you're putting into practice what you've learned, and that we do have achievement coming through, and to be hopefully in as much non-attachment to those achievements as possible. And in our romance energy, we do have a lot of past energies coming through for closure and truth. And then we have this wedding energy and third eye energy activations, which means that we're in that spiritual level of connection, which is great. Because if you are a spiritual person, then it's likely at this point in time to be very beneficial to be with a person who is open-minded, at least enough to not just tolerate your spiritual energies, but actually to be really respectful and hopefully connected in with those spiritual energies so that you guys can be, that dynamic duo create together. That's what I see for a lot of these potential connections coming up, right? It's going to be you guys working together to continue to build either what's on either side or something together. So really fantastic. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you do want to donate to the channel, go ahead. There's that PayPal button. If not, hopefully I'll be back sooner rather than later as energies start to pick up and move forward. Things are moving and shaking, but it's still going a little slow on my side. So hopefully you guys also experience a little bit of a pickup in momentum here and we can, get going. So love you guys. Take care and have an amazing day. And we will catch up with you soon. Okay, ciao for now. Bye, guys.